Welcome back everybody, it's me Ryan back for a brand new video. I hope you haven't missed me too much because I've been struggling to get some interviews for you. We've got a couple lined up for the next few weeks. So this week I'm joined by my big pal David Mitchell.
Drag back again, wonderful skills from Wallace, all very tight and congested.
Me for your early years of being a footballer.
Hi Ryan, thanks very much for having me do one of your interviews. It's been great seeing all your work during lockdown, especially Big Eric's interview that you done. Enjoyed that one, apart from deciding to slag me off about joining Ulsport, but I'll get on back somehow. I mean, first question about my early career was pretty straightforward. I just played boys club right up until I was about, I think I was 18, 19. I signed for Air 19s, so they were basically the stepping stone into the first team at the time. Didn't have a reserve squad, so signed for them, and I played with them for a year, and it was just at the turn, it was maybe just, I think it was after the New Year, I signed a professional contract with them. The number 2 goalie at the time decided to move on, so I was on the bench for the rest of the season, which for a 19-year-old was pretty amazing. It was good being involved in that, and we got to the playoffs that year and actually went up, which was the first division at the time, which is now the Championship. So I was on the bench for that, and it was a great experience for me. In terms of influences, I had quite a few. I mean, growing up, I was a big Peter Schmeichel fan. I absolutely loved the guy. He was just an incredible goalie. And then it kind of moved towards Casillas. He was a big influence to me. He was kind of similar height to me. He's not the biggest, so I had a lot to relate to in that way. Even though he's probably just a good bit better than me. Also, I'd probably say my dad was a big influence for me. He believed in me quite a lot, and he never ever criticised me, which some people might find strange, but it worked. He was my biggest fan, and he probably always will be. Along with my mum and my sister as well. They've all been really great throughout my career, not just even the beginning.
You started off your professional career at Ayr and then you made a loan move to Stranraer. Why did you make that decision?
Yeah, so I found out just after we had got promoted to the first division that I was going to be put out on loan to Stranraer, which was great. I mean, the reason behind it was just for me to play games and experience kind of men's football. And I jumped at the chance and I just kicked on from there.
After the loan move, you played 241 games for the club. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was great. It was about I think it was 5 years as a Stranraer player and 1 year on loan I spent with the club. So I've loved my time there. The club really did put a lot of faith in me because I was totally unheard of, and it was a massive gamble for them to take me. It was Keith Knox at the time, and Stephen Aitken was the assistant. So, my debut was, I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure somebody told me recently that my debut wasn't actually at Dens, but for some reason it's what I remember as being my debut, which didn't go to plan. We got absolutely battered 5-0. I think I had a hand in 3 of the goals, and then in the 84th minute I get sent off. So for me, like, that wasn't exactly ideal, but again it was all about getting experience, and these sort of things helped me along the way. I was lucky enough that the manager and Stephen Aitken, the assistant at the time, they didn't let me make mistakes, but they understood that it was going to happen with a young goalkeeper playing, and especially against a Dundee side who just bought Lee Griffiths and just bought Gary Harkins for quite a wee bit of money. So if what I remember that being my debut, it was kind of one to forget. But I mean, I had plenty of teammates over the years as well, which was which again helps you along the way. I mean, Declan Gallagher, I remember, came on loan to us, who's now Motherwell captain and in the Scotland national team. Some great characters along the way as well. Craig Malcolm, Sean Winter, all these kind of guys that were funny. Barry Russell and Jamie Longworth, the four from East Kilbride. And I mean, I've still got a lot of friends as well at the club. I mean, I'm still friends with Grant Gallagher and Scott Robertson, still talk away to them. But no, I mean, every teammate I had we always had a great dressing room, and they were always really, really close, which is a good thing. In terms of the good memories I had at the club, obviously the one each draw at Ibrox would be a big highlight, for obvious reasons. Still believe we should have won that game. Bearing in mind the penalty that Rangers got was probably one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in football. And certainly the year we should have won the league, when we beat Dunfermline. We beat them up there in the Scottish Cup replay, and then I'm sure it was the Saturday after we beat them in the league, just before Christmas, to put us top. They were real highlights, and there was one season as well that obviously didn't go to plan. Keith Knox had been let go, and Stephen Aitken took the manager's job, and we just managed to stay up in the last day. That's always it always sticks in my head as being massive for the club, because the following season that's when Rangers came into the league and obviously helped the club make a wee bit of money as well. So great times I had at the club, and these are memories that will last a lifetime.
The delivery, it's a good touch from Clark. Oh, wonder save from Mitchell. Denies Lewis McLeod. Sweeping move from Rangers. Wallace, Clark the providers.
Well, it was a cracking ball and good play, good touches as well from Rangers. McLeod did well, but the goalkeeper was out in his 6-yard box.
After 5 great years at the club, you were rewarded with full-time football. Did you enjoy this experience?
I absolutely loved being full-time, and I loved being at both Dundee and Falkirk. Dundee was a bit tougher in terms of I was travelling quite a bit every day, and it wasn't playing much at all. I was number 2 to Scott Bain, but again the experience was brilliant. The goalie coach there, Bobby Geddes, was great to work with, and along with Paul Hartley as well. He was really good with me, to be fair, and everyone at the club. I mean, there's a big difference with full time. You're obviously spending a lot more time together. You've got a lot more time to work and things as well, and it's great. It's something that I feel really grateful to have experienced, and it's just unfortunate that obviously it was only 4 years I spent full time. I don't think it helped that when I got to Falkirk, my injury that I had really set me back, and not only my Falkirk career, but in life in general. It was a tough time for me, but I put the work in at the time, and that's how I've managed to come back stronger. Again, I've got a lot of good memories as well. I mean, I managed to come on in a Dundee derby, which was an eye-opener. It was we were basically in cruise control of the game, and Scott Bain gets sent off, and then all of a sudden it was just chaos, and I had quite a bit to do. So no, that was a good memory when I was at Dundee, and also at Falkirk I managed to play in another derby there against Dunfermline. I played in a couple, which is always great to experience these things. Yeah, I think just coming back from injury at Falkirk and actually managing to play was a big deal for me at the time. So no, I love being full time. It is a real gift you get to be full time. I don't think boys appreciate it as well. These days, especially young laddies that get that chance to be full time, they don't think they realise how difficult it is outside of that full time environment.
Up goes to Franco. Oh no, nice shot.
Great save.
Nice save as well from David Mitchell. And it's the centre half as well. It was a cracking strike from the centre half. Bahara, and great save from David Mitchell.
Moffat the chance to shoot, parried, and somehow missed. Not over danger, not over yet though. Good save by Mitchell. David Mitchell
Oh my goodness.
somehow keeps it out.
He signed for Clyde last year and you're voted for Team of the Year. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, thanks very much. It's always good to get some recognition, especially after 4 difficult seasons. So I was really pleased with that. I was a wee bit disappointed, obviously. We didn't do as well as I think we should have last season. I think injuries and stuff like that kind of set us back a bit. We weren't consistent enough. But no, it was pleasing to get these individual awards. But again, I wouldn't have been able to do that with any of the help that I've had along the way. Obviously, the manager at Clyde is great. He's probably the best I have worked with, and my good friend Chris Fahey, who was at Stranraer, is my goalie coach. So he knows exactly the way I work, and I know exactly the way he works. I'm quite demanding and difficult at times to deal with because I'm getting old. I'm getting crab it, but he just knows how to deal with that. His man management skills are second to none, along with the manager. And I'm lucky again that I've went to a team where the boys are great. It's a great change room that we have, and that wins you so many points a season. So no, it's been a good year all round.
You were recently voted for Schnorr's Team of the Decade. How does it feel?
Yeah, that's a special award to get that, to get into the Team of the Decade, and really proud of that, considering the amount of work I put in at Stranraer over the 6 years. It was tough at times, the years that we were fighting relegation and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just really pleased that the fans actually appreciate and notice the hard work that I put in while I was there, and hopefully they've recognised that every time I played for Stranraer I gave everything I had, and no, so I'm delighted, and again I can't thank everybody who voted for me enough. So
Who's best player to play against and why?
great question that. Best player I've played against, I would probably say Scott Brown last season at when we got Celtic in the Scottish Cup. I don't think people realise how good a player he is. He absolutely strolled the game. It looked as if he could have played another 2 games after we played him, and his presence in the tunnel before the game was something. It was very impressive. It just bred confidence right throughout the team, right throughout the Celtic team. So I would have to say Scott Brown is definitely the best player I've played against.
Who's best 1 to 11 players you've played with?
My Stranraer 1 to 11. Another great question. I'll start. I'm not even. I think I'd only put myself in as a goalie because I'd want to play with these boys again, and these are the boys that I probably enjoyed playing with the most. So that's the only reason I'd probably put myself as number 1. My right back, I'd have Grant Gallagher. Again, I don't think people recognise just how good a player he is. He's probably one of the fittest players I've ever played with. And again, he can play absolutely anywhere. He's such a clever player. And I still speak to him from time to time, and hopefully after next season that'll be him, and he gets back playing. He's had a terrible time of injuries, and it's been absolutely gutting to see that for him. So hopefully that's him making kick on again. My first centre half I'd have would be another good Ayrshire boy, would be Scott Robertson. Again, just a guy that gives you everything. You want him playing in your team because he's got that nasty side to him as well, which is just something you want. My centre half I'd have next to him I'd have Scott Rumsby. Big man's obviously, I'm back at Clyde with him, and again a guy who just does anything to win. I've never seen somebody stick their head in front of somebody striking a ball off the deck as much as him. That kind of sums him up. He would actually run through a brick wall for you and your teammates, which you need to have. And no, the big man's a player I really admire. My left back I'd have Jackson Longridge, I think. He's obviously kicked on and he's away down south, which is no surprise. He's great defensively and going forward. He can go all day up and down, which today is the way fullbacks are going. So I'd have Jackson in there. My right winger would obviously be Sean Winter. He was always the boy I relied on for my goal kicks to try and hit it onto his head. He's not the biggest, but he was great in the air that way, and just again gave you 100%. And he was a great player going forward as well, and very clever, and he was always dangerous. And again, just a total winner. My first centre mid did have Stephen Bell, a guy again who I still keep in touch with. He helped me quite a wee bit during my injury, because he's obviously had a tough time during his career with some. So it's something I always appreciate is Stephen giving me that message. And like I said before, I'm just a guy that's a total winner and a leader, so I'd have him in. And next time I'd have Scott Agnew. Wonderful left foot, he's still unbelievable. I was at Airway as a young lad, and at half time we used to hit penalties and free kicks, and I never saved one, never ever. And probably still be the case just now. He's such a talented boy and a great guy to go along with, so I'd have him there. Left wing again, probably be no surprise with Willie Gibson. Again, just a guy that's been great throughout my career. He's always had good words to say about me, and he helped me a lot as well. My final year at Stranraer, he was always good to go to with advice and some of the things you see him do. I mean, that goal against Airdrie is something that I'll never forget. It's just unbelievable. But again, just a guy that wanted to win, and I think that was the biggest thing with us in our last season was just how close we were and how much we wanted to win. So I'd have him there, and up top I'd have the madman Craig Malcolm. A goal scorer that's kind of hard to find these days, and just worked so hard. He would never stop for 90 minutes, and he would put the ball in the net, just simple as. Great guy again, just a total madman, but a great guy. And next time I'd have his big mate Jamie Longworth, probably one of the best finishers I've played with, and he was great for the club that year. We drew at Ibrox. Obviously the goal he scored is went down in history. So great guy again, and a great player. So that'd be my 1 to 11, I think. Hopefully I've not offended anyone.
What's your ambition for the rest of your career?
Actually, I want to play till, my aim is to play till I'm 40, so that's what I'm looking at for the rest of my career. I want another good 10 years. I look after myself, and I still work really hard away from football, so that's my main aim. But also I want to actually win something. Hopefully it's with Clyde, and the manager's ambitious and he wants to take the club forward. So it'd be great if we could do that at Clyde. And it's a big club that that's had a tough couple of years recently. So no, that I think my immediate goal is to win something with Clyde. So you know, you never know. Hopefully, it can happen, and what I'm going to do is just work as hard as I can to make sure that does happen.
Have you any funny football stories?
Eric actually stole my funny story with Daniel Tobin on the bus, but there's that many stories you forget about them, but the one with Dan Tobin is just it was unbelievably funny. He was there 1 minute and then he was just gone, and then all I seen was the head pop up, and me and Eric were just couldn't stop laughing, and to this day when we speak about it, it was just amazing. I can remember the gaffer and Stuart, the bus driver, were just absolutely raging. They'd broke a bit of the bus as well to go along with it. So no, it was he's some boy, just Tobes, and it was great. It was great spending a year with him, because he was great to work with as well, and he was a great guy, and I still speak to him to this day, and some of the laughs you get with him is brilliant. So no, I'd have to just back up Eric's story with that one, and how funny it was. It's brilliant. Thanks very much, Ryan, for having us do the interview with you. I've actually enjoyed doing these questions. It's always good to look back over my career, and especially my time at Stranraer, and can't thank the club enough for what they did for me in my career. They really gave me the start that I was very lucky to have, and again, if it wasn't for the club, I wouldn't have my family. Right now, my fiancée is from Stranraer. I met her when I was at the club, and we've got 2 kids together, so I wouldn't have my kids if it wasn't for the club and for them taking a gamble on me all those years. So it's a special place for me, and always will be. I'm frequently down there visiting family, and I always see you, Ryan, always bump into you, and it's always a pleasure bumping into you, and your dad. So no, it's hopefully I'll actually try and get to a game next season, and I'm looking forward to he's winning that league. I'm sure he's will. Faz and Franco and Eric are good guys. They know what they're doing, and they've signed well. It's looking like a good squad. So hopefully the club can get promoted and back up into League One. It wasn't the greatest way that the club were relegated last year. There's still plenty of football to be played, so it was gutting to see. It was very strange to be playing against Stranraer last year. I'm not used to it, and I didn't really like it that much. So no, listen, thanks to you and your dad, and hope you all keep well, and we'll see you all soon. And thanks to all the Stranraer fans out there for your support over the years. Still get treated really well when I go back there, and Robert Rice, Cosmo, and everyone at the club are always really happy to see you, and they do absolutely everything they can to help you to this day. So no, it's great. Thanks very much. Take care. Cheers, Ryan.
Thanks, David, for your time for this week's interview. I really appreciate it. I like when you're down at Schnorr, and maybe next time when you're down, well, I can maybe go for a game with you and score some goals past you. So everybody, I'll be doing a prize when I hit 150 subscribers. We'll be giving away something, so stay tuned for that. That'll be in like a couple months, maybe, don't know. As soon as I hit 100 subscribers, that'll be quite good. So I'll just see everybody next week for next week's interview. Peace. Goodbye.